Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, real estate fans, avid listeners alike, and beautiful people out there driving in your car to church or hanging out in your shop this morning. And thanks so very much for tuning into Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Erik Hatch of Hatch Realty. And if you ever want to stop by and see us, and I hope you do, we're located at 1205 16th Avenue South in Fargo. So if you're at the Great Harvest Bread Company, I recommend their egg salad sandwich, by the way. It is delightful, and I eat it once a week, and I stay curvy because of it. Go to Great Harvest, and when you're done with that, swing on over to Hatch Realty. Give us a visit, and we would love to see you. But at the top of the hour, I want to share with you a couple of things. First of all, I mentioned last week as well, but it's worth sharing again. The Erik Hatch team, our little team here in Fargo, North Dakota, was recognized by the Real Trends, which is supported by the Wall Street Journal. We were recognized as the number 67 real estate team in the entire country. And I am so elated to share that with you because I get a chance to say that the team that I get to call my family and that I get to work intimately with are the best, hardest working, most upstanding, fabulous people in the industry and maybe in the world. Well, that's a bold statement, but either way, I think that they are the bee's knees. They are the cat's pajamas. They are the top of the line, and so I get to celebrate them being incredible. And so number 67 is where we ranked in 2014. 2015, it looks as though we will be even higher than that because what we've seen now is we've seen a shift and a change in the market where it continues to tighten up, but we're gaining more market share. And that's an exciting thing for us as a team. But what that means for you as a consumer is this. If you're selling your house or buying your house, if you're buying a house, chances are we can get you information on upcoming listings prior to them actually hitting the market. We can't sell it to you until we're fully under contract with them, but what we can do is get you that information because we are dealing with such a great sea of people, and you maybe are going to be able to go in and not have to compete, but instead you pay the price, the sticker price that the seller wants, and that's a great advantage to you. Now, if you're selling, what that means is we can get you more marketing, more exposure, and if you want to go to market and see what the market can bring, oftentimes we can get you even above asking price. So we're in an exciting, perfect eye of the tiger, eye of the storm right now, and I'd love to talk with you about these opportunities. So let's get in contact, 701-369-4839, or head to livefargomoorhead.com to find out what your home is worth. But first things first, let's find out what's happening with real estate news this week. I am elated to have in studio with us the wonderful, the delightful, the about to be a new homeowner, Shannon Simon. Shannon, good morning.
Good morning, Erik.
Shannon, you have a big day tomorrow because today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday, and what happens tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I close on the house I'm selling, and then I close on a house I'm buying. So it is a big day.
Are you working tomorrow?
No.
Smart choice. This is the dance that a lot of people have to do, Shannon. They have to buy and sell in the same motion. What kind of annoyance is that in your life?
The hardest part has been trying to keep my house organized as I've been packing and keep it things that I need out with things that I don't need out, and just keeping the organization for daily living.
Now, Shannon, what we need to know and understand through this whole process is that it's not just you and your husband, right? You got a couple little munchkins running around.
We do have two kids, kind of different age groups, a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. So packing for them has been probably the trickiest part.
Okay, tell me more, because I think there's probably listeners out there who have kids and who are saying, I'm not even going to bother moving because it's going to be such a pain in the butt for my kids.
In all actuality, it's been a really great process of going through our things, maybe weeding out some of the things that we're realizing that we don't need anymore. I'm selling some things, and then just really finding that we can live without as much stuff as we have right now.
There's a lot of crap we have that just sits in storage and sits, and you hang on to it because you think you need it, right?
That's very true.
And are you taking all that stuff now and moving it to your new house, or are you giving it away? Are you selling it? What's the plan?
We have a really good mix of a box of donate things, a box of sell things, a box of throw things, and then a box of things that we need to take with us.
And a box of things like, this is a gift for Erik. He's wonderful.
We do have some baby girl things I'd love to pass along.
How sweet of you. I do have an 8-month-old at home, and bless her heart, she slept in 20-minute increments last night, Shannon. Yeah, all night long. I feel great today. So Shannon, what is the stress like besides packing and getting everything done? Because the last week or two is always the most tumultuous in terms of making sure that the house that you're selling is spotless and in great condition. But you have to deal with the stress of appraisals, and you have to deal with the stress of underwriters and final pulls from lenders. How have you been feeling through that process, and has it been as scary as I hear it to be?
It is a little scary. Now that we're kind of coming to the end of it, the best piece of advice that I would pass along and remind myself of is just keeping the communication open. Keeping that communication open between my husband and myself, kind of touching base on who talked to who today, and making sure that appraisals and walkthroughs and things are scheduled and on our calendar. And then when there is confusion about maybe what day or what time or what's the next thing, calling our team at your office, both our selling realtor and our buying realtor, just some of your office staff too, letting them kind of confirm some of those dates and telling us the next process. Just really keeping that communication open has been important.
Well, again, those of you just tuning in, we have Shannon Simon, soon to be previous homeowner and new homeowner. Tomorrow's the big day. She's buying and selling in the same day. Shannon, the big age-old question is this. Would you do it again? Because I ask that question to a lot of our clients, and people who are building a house will oftentimes say, I would never build a house again, or absolutely I would do it. I love the process. Right now you're buying and selling in the middle of summer when kids have activities, and you have a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old, and your husband is just as busy as they are. Would you do it again?
I would do it again. Maybe the analogy to compare it to is after you have a baby, you say, I don't know if I could ever do that again. It was, a lot of work and I'm tired. But as some time passes and you get into your new routine and things kind of calm down, you say, oh yeah, I could do that again. So in the heat of this moment of buying and selling both tomorrow, it feels kind of like it's a lot on our plate at one time. But I know that once we get into our new house and get settled, you could say that feeling of I would do it again.
So the thing that a lot of people do in your situation is they will sell their house and then decide to rent for a couple of months until they can find the right house. What made you and Travis not do that and move a total of 3 times or 2 times?
That was something that we did consider, and we did talk to both of our agents about if it was an option. I didn't want to settle on finding my new house for one that wasn't right. If I was going to go through this process, I wanted to make sure that I got my dream house out of the deal.
Absolutely.
So if that happens, it is something that you can do. It is manageable. You just have to be organized and pack appropriately for that move, and just don't settle for a house that might not be right.
You're spot on, Shannon. And if this is going to be something that you're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on, you better make sure that it's right. And it's not something that you're just going to say, it's good enough.
Correct.
And so you didn't get caught in a precarious situation. Unfortunately, we got your house sold in a day, and so you didn't have to deal with that stress, so you could move to the next one. So for people out there listening right now, Shannon, what's one piece of advice you can give them if they're considering buying or selling?
One piece of advice, I guess, is just keeping your communication open. If you're thinking of buying or selling, be talking with your spouse or your family, making sure that you kind of have your ducks in a row before you do it, and then really using the tools that are available at Erik's office with his agents and just his support staff to really get you in the right place when you're ready to do it.
Oh, thanks for that, Shannon. We're going to have you stick around here after the break because you are not only a homeowner and somebody who's buying and selling, even more excitingly for some of our listeners is that you have a background in interior design. And so we're going to learn some tips and trends. So everybody, in the meantime, go to livefargomoorhead.com, find out what your home is worth, and see a few houses on today's market. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio. As always, I'm your host, Erik Hatch, and we have in studio with us, as promised, still the fabulous, the talented, the wonderful Shannon Simon, who is buying and selling a house tomorrow. But we're going to transition from that, Shannon, to talk about what you do professionally. Fill our listening audience in as to why you are a superstar.
I work as an interior designer here in Fargo at Floor to Ceiling Carpet One.
And why in the world would anybody ever want to hire an interior designer? And I ask that a little bit tongue-in-cheek because I'm in real estate and I see houses all the time and I watch HGTV and I look through magazines and I have a pretty good idea of what's going to tie the room together. Why should I hire an interior designer?
Hiring an interior designer benefits you because they can help you with all of the coordination that needs to happen if you're either doing a new home construction or There's lots of coordinating between plumbers, electricians, the builders, the guys putting your flooring in. All of those different pieces kind of all need to come together. And sometimes that can be a lot if you are working a full-time job. Maybe you can't make all those phone calls and stops back at the house during the day. So a designer is someone that can help you put all that together.
Well, two things that I think are really relevant with this. And Shannon, we have hired you, my wife and I have hired you to come in and to finish off our house. We had great ideas of what to do with some colors and some other things, but it always felt incomplete until we got you in there. What did you do to really finish off the project?
Like how you were saying, you can get lots of great ideas from channels like HGTV or lots of magazines, but sometimes finding all of those really perfect pictures in the magazine, you need someone to help you be able to find those pieces like locally or to be able to order online. You might get the whole vision, but you need all those little itty bits to come together to make it look like it looks like in the magazine. All day long at my job, that's what we do is research where to find those pieces, and so we can help bring that together for you.
Now, Shannon, when you were hired by my wife and myself, you came back with all these like pink and green and blue accents and crap I would never put in my house, and I love it. How in the world did you take something that I would have never have picked, that I didn't think was my style, and make it superb?
Part of that is kind of finding the balance between you and your wife. I mean, she kind of came with some of those ideas that had some pink in them, so we had to balance it with lots
I'm sure she did, yeah.
So we found that balance by blending that with lots of the other greens, the whites, getting some, darker brown furniture, kind of blending it all together and letting those bright pinks and greens pop as the accents.
Well, part marriage counselor, part interior designer, I suppose. Shannon, you are exquisitely skilled at what you do. And I've now hired you for my current project. I'm flipping my first house.
Yes.
And it's a big old beast that's hopefully going to hit the market here in a couple of days. I had some ideas, and I brought you in to validate those ideas. And what did you do?
We did validate some of those, and then we changed a few others.
That's a really nice way to say you told me I was wrong.
No, not wrong. Just needed to tweak a few things. That's what happens a lot, though. You might have ideas of things that you think are priorities or things to fix, and we might just have to tweak a few of those areas with paint colors or just some flooring choices, or maybe it's a better option to spend your money on part A versus part B. Just having kind of a neutral eye to come in that's not invested in the money or the heart and soul of it to kind of just help you make it neutral for everyone.
You came in, and even the slightest of changes, the cabinets in the kitchen that I purchased are this like a yellowish white. It's not a bright white by any means. And then it had this really old school accent piece on it. I didn't know whether to take the accent off, leave it on. I thought, though, we were going to leave the cabinets the same color. And you came in and said, these cabinets need to be brighter. Needs to work with the appliances, that work with the lighting, that work with the flooring, that work with the paint color, that work with all these other things. And so you were able to see a project as a whole, where I saw it just as a small piece and trying to cut a corner and not have to paint all those dang cabinets.
Right. That's one of the benefits of having someone like a designer come in to look at that whole picture. We can get the vision right away and then help you decide, just like what we said before.
Shannon, there's one final piece I want to talk about, and it's the dining room in this house. A huge dining room, has carpet on the floor, which I personally can't stand because that's where I do all my spilling is when I'm eating. But it has these wallpaper panels, and these are expensive, felt-like textured wallpaper panels, and I had no idea what to do. How did we come up with the decision to leave them and then paint around them?
Sure, that was a really great balance of keeping some fun design, but making the room still appeal to kind of the masses, because we don't know exactly who the buyer of this house is going to be. So we left the panels as they are, but just painted around the frame, or framed them, and then painted the wall in just a really great neutral gray color to kind of keep that balance of something fun and unique, but making it appeal to the masses.
Then we changed the lights, we changed the flooring, we changed the paint color, and then we left the character.
Correct. Yes.
Well, I can't wait to see it all finished. The flooring is going in right now, and so you'll be able to see this house online here very quickly. So head to livefargomoorhead.com to check that out. But in the meantime, go to Floor to Ceiling Carpet One, visit Shannon Simon, hire her to come and save your marriage, save your house, and be a great asset to your life. Again, Shannon Simon with Floor to Ceiling, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
In the meantime, go to livefargomoorhead.com Fargo-Moorhead.com. Check out this house we're going to be listing and everything else on the market. All right, everyone, we are almost out of time. I do want to close with a couple of final thoughts. The first is, if you have a big need right now in terms of buying or selling, I just want a chance to interview to earn your business. I don't ever want to assume that I have your business, but instead, I'd love a chance to how we're going to probably be a different experience than what you've had previously, or I hope that we can even exceed your expectations. That's really important to me, and so please reach out to us if you want to have us interview to earn your business. Even if you're 6 months to a year out from buying or selling, we probably should get started right now because realistically, there's some opportunities that we don't want to miss out on. But the second is this: if you are thinking about building a house, and a lot of people are, if you don't make your decision to build within the next 3 to 4 weeks, probably, you're going to be in your new house in 2016 and not 2015. We are running out of days, weeks, and months here in 2015. And so your decision to close on a new construction build needs to happen very shortly if you want to close in 2015.